Good morning golfers, and welcome back to this week's course management. And as you can tell, there's a lot less wind. I'm standing in the place where I finished off last time, and having a look back on the video you could hardly hear what I was trying to say. And what you can see is behind me the gorse bushes between 7 and 11 are fully in bloom now. We put them in place a couple of years ago, and at the time everyone's comments was a little bit concerned, understandably, that we'd taken away some sort of bloomage, if you like, on the course. In actual fact, the trees were kind of made up of old dying blackthorn and weeds, etc. Whereas now we've got nice tidy looking sort of shoulder height gorse bushes that are dividing the two tees and the two holes, which is fantastic. So anyway, we're looking at holes 7, 8 and 9 today. It's absolutely gorgeous up here, I'm sorry to tell you all. About 13-14 degrees, no wind, which is even more of a rarity up here. But we'll take you through holes 7, 8 and 9 as best we can, without any golf ball or any golf clubs or any hitting of any shots. And yeah, hopefully a few tips will rub off on you, and maybe a few thoughts on how to play these last 3 holes of the front 9. So here we are on the 7th hole, 350 yards approximately from the tips. Main concern here is, 350 yards hole shouldn't be too much trouble really, but quite honestly we probably bogey this hole more than we should do, and it's generally because we try and attack it more than we should. Normally we'd get the wind direction coming across from the left to the right on a strong southwesterly, which blows us off over towards the right hand side where these gorse bushes are, and you can see the kind of bunkers, fairway bunkers hidden on the right hand side there. So you think, okay, automatic, let's just bail out to the left, and unfortunately you can see we've got a bunker position there from this point here at about 250 yards, which makes for a long carry for a lot of people. So if you can carry it, then great, makes the hole an awful lot easier, opens the approach to the green out perfectly, really takes an awful lot of trouble. For most though, it really means threading it between the left hand bunker and the right hand bunkers. Up on the distance there you can see, in that mid spot is what we require. And I think naturally a lot of people tend to venture for the driver at this point, and if we get a tiny little fade on it, we're going to end up in that gorse bush that we spoke about earlier. So my main theory here really, whether you're a big hitter, maybe struggling with the driver on the day, or an average club length hitter of a golf ball, if we can get something up there around about 200-220 yards, it's going to leave us inside the 150 yard marker. And to me, once we get inside that 150 yard marker, we've got a much more scoring club on our hand, and gives us a reasonably easy approach into the green. The green is probably one of the most slopiest greens on the golf course up here. So whether you're 50 yards from the green off the tee or 150 yards, there really isn't a huge advantage, because it's still very hard to get it close to the flag stick, even if we are 50 yards short of the green. So let's drop the ball up at where our tee shot would hopefully be for the average hitter, and see what it brings us. So here we are, second shot, 7th hole. We've managed to negotiate our drive, missed the left-hand fairway trap, and we've aimed kind of at the right-hand traps, keeping ourselves out of danger. We've hit a club that we know goes about 200 yards off the tee, which, yeah, makes the whole play pretty simple. The slight disadvantage we have, it's left us about 140 yards up the hill, and leaves the approach to the green a little bit closed off. We're not on that left side of the hole being able to see the green surface, but we're playing this percentage way, and so the next thing we're going to try and do is really try and avoid any more danger. We're going to make sure we carry the front edge of that bunker. We can see sitting away to the right hand side there, get the ball on the surface, and kind of a hole really. If we can get a 2-putt, get out, make a 4, it really isn't a bad score here, although the yardage might say something different. par most of the time, especially if you scored it that way through the year, you'd be very, very happy. One thing, as we zoom back out, we need to make sure that we take the elevation into the choice of our club. So this second shot here is playing about 10 yards up the hill. So if we're picking a club that would normally go 140, we're going to come up short. We need to pick a club that's going to go 150. And again, like most greens around the golf course here, if you're going to miss it one way or the other, let's make sure we miss it long, because at the back edge of this green, like many others, there's no real danger, and it makes for an easy long two putt or an easy chip and putt. No real danger from there. So here we are on the 7th green, looking back down towards the coast, but mainly showing those that maybe have never played the course before how much elevation there is from the second shot up onto the green. When you're standing there playing the second shot, you don't tend to realise it too much, but when you look back down, you can see, how much elevation there is even right back down to the tee there and on towards the coast. But yeah, a great little spot to look back down the 7th hole, and kind of the hole that you forget about really a little bit when you play the course, but actually a really pretty little hole now, framed nicely by the yellow gorse that we've got. So as we come back towards the green, my superb shot that I didn't hit is landed safely in the middle of the green here. The only real tip I'd give about this green is, if you're ever playing the hole, is make sure you keep it on the left half of the green. If you keep it on the left half of the green, you're either going to have a flat or an uphill putt for your birdie putt possibly, or your par or bogey putt. As you can see here, I'll scan around, you can see how the green obviously slopes from back to front and from right to left. So yeah, the only thing that can really trip you up if we manage to navigate the hole so far is the green. But if you keep the ball beneath the hole, basically normally on the left side of the green, you're going to make a far easier two putt than if you're above it, because if you get even 5 or 6 feet above the hole here, sometimes midsummer when the greens are at their fastest, it's a very, very hard two putt, if not guaranteed three putt. Okay, so I hope that's good info for the 8th, for the 7th in, and we're off to the 8th. So here we are on the 8th hole, 157 yards, green beautifully framed by bunkers and grass mounds into a nice little bowl shape, as you can see. On playing the hole, do not miss the green left. You've got more chance of getting up and down from the kitchen sink. If you are going to miss it, let's bail out right. If the wind is hard off the left, which it normally will be, that's generally where you're going to end up no matter what you try and do. But the main way to play this hole for me is to make sure those 2 front greenside bunkers you can see, all you got to do is, that's your main task, is carry those and don't miss the green left. Keep it simple. Again, quite a slopey green for us, a little area of the golf course that doesn't appear that strong, but actually can make you go bogey, bogey, bogey very quickly. So here we are on the approach to the 8th green, the 2 greenside bunkers on the front here, and just a quick show of if we can carry this front right bunker, which from the back is about 130 yard carry. If we can just get it over this bunker or even in between the 2, we can see how that ball kicks on from that little downslope from the bunker. Where that ball is finished is absolutely perfect. Again, a bit like the 7th, but the opposite. Keep the ball on the right hand side of the green, the lower part of the green. Always going to leave you an easier putt. If we get on the left hand side of the green, we're always going to be putting down the hill and across the hill to try and gain our 2 putt or single putt. So this hole, keep it over the bunk, get it over the bunker, keep it short right, and there'll be no trouble. Just thought I'd show you this part of the green. Obviously we've done the hollow tining and top dressing whilst we've been stuck through COVID-19 and the course has been closed, but now you can see with a little bit of warmth we've had over the last week or so, the grass is really starting to grow through. Rob's just chucked down a tiny bit of fertiliser. We've got some rain coming up definitely tomorrow, Tuesday, and looking a bit wet through the rest of the week on and off, so that'll really help kick in the stronger further growth. And yeah, with a bit of fine tuning, a bit of scarifying before we come back, these greens will be looking absolutely fantastic. So again, when we look back down towards the tee of a hole, we can learn an awful lot. When you spend a few moments, rather than just getting carried away in your game of golf and whether you got your 2 points or your par or bogey, if you actually spend a few moments just to look back down a hole, you can learn an awful lot and actually start to think, you know, how much space there is. Again, as we said from the tee block, make sure you carry the front 2 bunkers, and actually then we've got quite a bit of space on this front right corner. Keeps us away from the danger zone, which is down the other side of this lip of the left hand side of the green here. That is 4 or 5 guaranteed all day long, but why would you ever need to mess with that side when you've got this part of the green here, or short right of the bunker there? Really does make an easy up and down to make your par. So again, something to learn today is just try and think your way through the golf holes a little bit. No matter how much game you've got with you on the day, with you unhappy with the way you're striking the ball, sometimes you can still make pars just by thinking and playing with the game that you've got and making the correct decisions in learning where you can and cannot miss it on the golf course. So here we are on the 9th tee, 408 yards long, par 4. Can be a tricky drive on a windy day. As we slowly work up the hole, we can see obviously, people that know the golf course, the 2 bunkers that cause us some concern as we stand on the tee on the left hand side there on the way towards the green. And with a strong wind off the left, which can generally be playing, these 2 bunkers are kind of our starting point to make sure that we finish over on the fairway or even the right hand side to open the green up a little bit. Again, a lot of us naturally reach for the driver here sometimes. If we can hit 2 shots of 200 yards in a row fairly straight, it again makes the hole seem a lot easier. So, you know, if it is windy off the left and we're concerned that we're losing the ball to the right on the day, let's just try and make sure we pick out a club out of the bag that again hits at 220 off the tee, so maybe 5 with 3 wood. We get an awful lot of roll out of this fairway because it tends to get very dry, so your normal 200 yard shot is probably going to go a lot further than that. But again, it's all about getting the ball in play. Let's play with what we've got on the day. Something that's just over 200 yards down that gives us every chance of making a par. So a lot of people that I teach really struggle with alignment, especially out on the golf course under a bit of pressure. They tend to get sucked in with concerns over how they're going to play the hole or what they're going to score. So sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get a tee block like this where it's been freshly cut, and the alignment of the left edge of this cut here, you can see where my ball's teed up, takes us right down the centre to left half of the fairway. And all we've got to simply do now is get our feet running parallel to that green line. And there we've got it, an easy alignment causing you a lot more straight shots. So again, just a little tip. Some of you I'm sure already know that, but sometimes even the simplest tips we forget and can make a difference to your next round of golf. So as I walk down the 9th fairway, we'll just start to off the tee. I just thought I'd quickly show you again the conditions of the 10th green here, really growing through now. Starting to put a couple of cuts on the greens as they go through the new growing medium and come through the tines that we took out. So yeah, looking promising. So here we are, played a great tee shot, round about 200 yards off the tee, maybe 210. Leaves us a fairly straightforward shot of about 200 yards left towards the green. Dangers here, do not want to miss it left. You can see the out of bounds post sitting by the buggy shed in the clubhouse there. If you carry this left hand bunker, especially in the dry, with any sort of speed on your ball, you will be out of bounds. And you should never ever need to go near there because we've got these very generous banks on the right hand side over the green side bunker there that feeds your ball directly into the middle of the green. That's how the hole's designed. That's how the hole should be played, especially if you're this far back. Only once you get past this last left hand trap should you start to look at actually attacking the middle of the green on your carry into the hole. Apart from that, fairly straightforward. As always, on most of our holes, the danger is always at the front. 2 greenside bunkers covering the front of the green. All we're going to make sure we do is carry those. Again, if we're at the back edge of the green or just through it, there's no danger. Leaves an easy 2-putt or a chip and putt for par. So here we are on the approach to the 9th hole. As you can see, if we're going to miss this green, this is the place to miss it. Short and right. It really needs no real danger, and again, planning ahead sometimes to see where you can get up and down from if you were to miss the green. As I throw the ball into the hole here, you can see just a simple bump of a shot finds its way into the middle of the green or wherever the flag may be. So the only way you can really come unstuck on this hole is to miss the green left, and that will bring you a very, very tricky lob shot. So always use this right hand banking. If you're going to miss it short, or if it's me clubbing you into the green, I'd always try and pick a club that's going to take you nearer to the back edge than the front edge, because as you can see, the danger surrounds the front. So that concludes the front 9 of the course management. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm certainly enjoying the views this morning. No wind, very mild. Golf course looking in good condition. Hopefully we'll be back on here soon, hitting some actual golf shots rather than just talking about it. Hope you're well, stay safe, and I'll see you for the back 9 soon.